Congratulations, it's time to start writing your paper. Let's start with a couple of APA tips. First, note that APA papers use a 1-inch margin. This is not the default for Microsoft Word anymore, so you'll have to go into your page setup to fix this. Second, notice that APA papers include a header. This header would involve both an abbreviated title of your paper, which can be a simple listing of the variables, and a page numbering. The abbreviated title should be left aligned, and the page number should be right aligned. Main headings should be bold and centered, while first level subheadings should be bold and left aligned. APA also includes several rules of things you should not do. Do not leave your widow-orphan function on when you're writing an APA paper. To turn this off, go into the paragraph menu of Microsoft Word. Next, do not use the word since as a synonym for because. According to APA, since should only be used to represent a passage of time. Thou shalt not number 3 is ending a paragraph with a quotation. While it's perfectly acceptable to use quotations in an APA paper, you want to make sure that you end each paragraph with your own words, which means that if you include a quote, be sure to interpret that quote at the end of the paragraph or further the idea. Finally, don't forget your in-text citations or the reference list. It's imperative that you give authors credit for their ideas and work. You'll notice that in the research papers that you've read, there's a literature review before the method section. If you had taken a theory class to accompany or lead into your method course, that's the part of the paper you would have written there. Since this class focuses exclusively on methods, we're going to start with the method section of your paper. The method section includes 3 subsections: participants, if you used human subjects data, and content, if you did a content analysis. If you had participants for your study, then your participants should be described in detail, including all of the demographic information that you collected and noting the number of participants that you had. If you did a content analysis, the content that you analyze needs to be described in detail. Second is the procedure section. The procedure section needs to include everything you did to collect your data. Bear in mind, particularly for writing the procedure section, but throughout the entire method section, that your paper needs to be written in enough detail that I could go out and replicate your study exactly. Last is the instrumentation section. The instrumentation section should include all of your measures. If you're using measures that were developed by someone else, you can simply cite those measures and include the validity information that the author who developed or have since used the instrument have provided. If you've developed your own instrument, then you need to provide your validity information here. You should also, regardless of whether the instrument is someone else's or your own original, provide the reliability score of your instrument or instruments for the data set you collected. The next major section of your paper is results. In the results section, you need to restate your research question or hypothesis, state the statistical analysis that you will use, and then present the statistical results of that analysis in APA format. The last section of your paper will be the discussion. If you write very concisely, you can actually complete the discussion section in 3 paragraphs. The first paragraph should be an interpretation of your result in layman's terms. Write that first paragraph so that people of varying statistical literacy levels can understand what you found and what it means. The second paragraph should be your so whats. What can a practitioner or a scholar do with the results of your study? Why is it useful to know this? And finally, you should conclude with limitations in future research. Limitations include any details of your paper that you know you could do better. For example, having a small sample or using an instrument that had a poor reliability score. The concluding paragraph can also talk about future research, not just limited to how you would have fixed your current study, but what you think a good step 2 would be to further your research. Remember as you're writing your research paper that you are encouraged to email me drafts for your paper for feedback up to 48 hours before it's due. You're not alone out there. I'm here to help.